How to start your Monday morning. Start the fire, boil the water, grind the coffee, add filter, coffee in the filter, water into filter, watch it drip, more water, watch it drip some more, fill your cup, raise your cup, and no. Leave the house and leave it up to the professionals to make the coffee. I'll stick to the conversations. Welcome to Caffeinated Conversations with Brooke Allen.
Well, good morning. Thank you for joining us. This is Caffeinated Conversations, our 78th show. I am so excited. I cannot even believe it. You know, it is a typical Monday morning. Let me just say that because it has been kind of crazy down here. Carolyn from CKC Agency, she got a flat tire on her way. Kam, who you'll see in just a minute, she got stuck in traffic. And I think Christina said that she actually left her salad dressing and she had to run to her mom's to get it because her husband forgot it. And me. So last week, Daisy dropped her necklace down our bathroom sink. And thankfully, I have a scout dad who fixes things. So he came over and he's like, you know what? I don't think I'm going to get this. She's going to be upset. And I'm like, no, I have the faith that you're going to get this. So he's like, oh my gosh, I have it. It was so awesome. So she was so excited, but she made me clean it and disinfect it 10 times. And then I went into the bathroom a couple hours later and she had jammed the drain down. And I can't get it out. So this morning, I have my fondue fork and I'm trying to wedge it out. And it did not work. So I'm calling on Mr. Werner to come over again because I'm like, Daze, why did you do that? And she's like, I don't want my necklace to go down again. And I'm like, but now nothing can go down. So we're currently just dumping water into the bathtub. That is our Monday, and that is how that has gone. So thank you so much for being with us, of course. It is almost the end of May, Memorial Day. I cannot even believe it. Time seems to be flying. And they do say as you get older, time goes faster, which kind of sucks, Makes
honestly,
sense.
right? So I am excited about this first guest because this is part of our Where Are They Now series, part 3. And Kam Carman is here. And Kam, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me. It's so good to see you again.
Oh, you too. It's been a while. I think it was January when that whole incident happened, right?
Yes. October because it was fall
pink, and
everyone was dressed in fall colors.
Yes, I was wearing orange, I remember. So, okay, Kam, so you have had an amazing career and you continue to do so. And, you know, I like to check in with people who have been in broadcasting because obviously I've made the transition too. And it's different because you kind of carry your experience with you.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Deadlines and all this, you know, all of these things that kind of play into it. And you have done so much. You started at the Weather Channel.
I did.
That is so awesome. I didn't even know that till I was Googling you earlier as I was with my fondue fork.
Yeah.
I'm like, Alexa, tell me about Kam Carman.
I'm going to keep that tip in mind, by the way.
It didn't work, so I don't know. Okay, so you started at the Weather Channel and then you came to Detroit. And that's where you were at Fox 2.
Yeah, I was at Fox 2 for 23 years. I came here in 1991, and we didn't have Google back then. We didn't have cell phones back then.
Crazy,
Yeah,
right?
I know. How did we survive?
I don't know, especially in our jobs, right?
Yeah.
Because you have all that technology, and it makes it so simple. But we were splicing tape together, man.
I know, and
right?
we were on typewriters. You know,
ripping the AP
Rip and
wire.
read.
So yes. So okay. So how? So when you left Fox, how long has that been?
It was in 2016. Yes.
Okay.
It's all
It's all a
blurring
blur
together.
now,
Yes,
right?
Yes.
So how has it been for you once you left Fox and then just kind of went into your own thing?
It was kind of a rough transition. I kind of thought at the time I thought that I really needed a little bit of time away, and I thought things are going to come to me so easily, and they really didn't. And I flopped around a little bit. I tried a bunch of different things, and I even attempted to start a new show, and I really was into it. It was a restaurant review show, and it was on PBS for a season, and it was right when the resurgence of Detroit was really coming into its own with all these new restaurants, and it turned out really well, except then the pandemic came. So then everything got shut down, and I ran out of funding, so I couldn't do it. I mean, that's my dream job now, to actually do it again. But you know, things have happened since then, so that's really not happening at the moment. But then I just made the transition into public relations. So it's been great because it's kind of a great parlay into from broadcasting to public relations, because we all have connections, you know, and it's been
and we kind of
pretty
know how
smooth.
it's done, right?
Exactly.
From the other side. So it's like, oh, so now I'm the one writing the pitch.
Right. And then you know what makes good TV or what makes good radio and what doesn't.
Yes.
So it's been great.
So it's funny, you mentioned radio too. You were doing it all. I mean, you were on WNIC, and so you were Fox 2, you were at WNIC. What's the difference to you between radio and TV?
It's funny. It is funny. I mean, some elements are the same, but radio is a lot more lax in terms of being on the air. But I find that radio is
harder.
Yes,
it is. It is.
You agree?
Yes, for sure. Because I mean, you don't really have to care how you look on the radio, right? Now every day I'm like, what is happening?
I know.
It's like stressing out.
Getting up 2 hours earlier just because of the hair.
Just because of the hair. Yeah. In fact, Heather, who does my hair, she's like, when's your next appointment? You need to make one. Those bangs are not doing it.
And the roots.
Right? I'm like, it's depth. We call it depth. But it is a different thing. But the stress level is still there because you have to back time, you have to do all of this thing, all of these things. And I think that's one thing that either you thrive on or you don't.
Right. And I think as you get older, it's harder. It got to be harder for me because the competition is very stiff, as you know. But even the perception and the depth perception and the sensory overload as I've gotten older was hard. To have someone speaking in your ear all the time saying breaking news, go to this, go to that. I mean, this is a lot better pace for me.
Well, and so that is interesting you said that, because I know that by the end of my time at WWJ, I was super stressed. Yeah. And it affects your mental health because you're hearing these stories over and over again, or it's breaking. And, I was on the air when Oxford happened. Yeah. I was not on the air when MSU happened, but because I had spent some time at WKAR, people were actually calling me on, during that evening and like, what's happening? I'm like, I don't even know what you're talking about right now. Because once I got in my car, I turned everything off. I would not listen to any music, nothing. I mean, because it was like, okay, you know what? You need that silence. Because it affects you.
Yeah, you drive home. I mean, I would drive home at the end of a crazy day and just stare and not even remember the ride home sometimes because things were so intense.
Yes.
At the TV station. So it's been a welcome change in some respects, but sometimes I do miss it when there
I was just going to ask you, right?
When there is breaking news. And I am still a news junkie. I mean, I'll still watch it, but I'm glad I'm on the other side.
Other side now. Yeah, it is funny because I thought, I wonder if I'm going to be sad like during the not covering this election or not covering this. And then I'm like, you know what? I'm all good.
The things I do get sad about is when I see the opportunity for a really good story and I think, I could have covered that, or I really want to call so-and-so and say, this is a really, or I do see a good angle. And, I thought of one today and I pitched somebody and I thought, I hope they answer. Right. Because if they don't, they're really missing out.
So, I think it stays with us. Right?
It does.
It does.
It sure does.
Okay, so you have twins.
I do.
I don't know how I did not know this about you.
It's funny.
So you have twin girls?
One boy, one girl.
Oh, okay. So same as me.
Yep.
Okay. Yep. And how old are they?
They're going to be 24 next week.
Okay. So I need some advice from you because mine are 13.
I'm not so good at it.
I'm like, what is happening now? What are we doing?
They're 13?
Yeah, they're 13.
Yeah.
And the whole teenage thing, it has like, I'm speechless.
Actually, so 7 and 13 were my favorite ages.
Really? You can borrow them if you want.
I will. Yeah, 13 was great for me. And I know people say it was a nightmare. Like 13, that whole tweenish, and then going into middle school.
Voice changes.
And the voice and the hormones. I loved 13.
Really?
Can't say the same about the rest of the since then, but no, I'm kidding. So,
to me, and I don't know, so how old were they when you left Fox?
Oh, let's see. So it was 2014. So I don't even know. No, 16. I'm bad at math.
No, me too. So that's why I ask you, because I was like, I tried to do it and I couldn't figure it out. But the whole idea, they were just going into middle school when my contract was up at J. And I was thinking, okay, so do I stay in this? And I miss dinner with them. You miss homework. You miss all of their events. And so that was a deciding factor for me of trying to really be there for them.
Yeah.
And then it's the funniest thing because probably a couple months into it when we'd had like many dinners and I was at all their events. And I'm like, isn't this great? They're like, what? And I'm like, well, I missed dinner with you. What are you talking about? You've always been here. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? So it's funny how it just kind of blends for them.
I think in broadcasting, it's either this or that. Like with people who work the night shift, they miss a lot. People who work the morning shift, they miss the whole, hustle and bustle of the morning. It's one or the other. I mean, there's no perfect 9-to-5 job in broadcasting.
No, definitely not.
With this, it's way more flexible, and it is now that my kids are older. But there are different benefits. But I would always miss the mornings, and I would have to have someone come at night because I was a single mom.
Right.
Still am. But
join the club.
Yeah.
There must be something about broadcasting,
I know.
right?
Well,
That's interesting.
They do say.
That might be another topic,
Yes,
right?
yes, indeed. But yeah, I did. I mean,
supporters.
I would miss the mornings, and I would have to go to bed early. But then I would have all day with them and dinner, and then the whole schedule would start over again. But you kind of pick and choose,
Right.
You know?
Okay, so what would you say to somebody who really wants to be in broadcasting these days?
Don't do it. No, I'm kidding. Journalism, I'd say yes. I mean, I still think there's a big need for journalism, true journolism, not this, opinionated, I don't.
Right.
I don't believe in that. I still think true storytelling is true to my heart. I would still love to do it. I to this day. But the whole sensationalism and gotcha, that kind of stuff, no.
The clickbait and all
Yeah,
of
and
it.
it's hard. I mean, it's very competitive. If you're young and pretty, you might
Go
have
get
a
'em,
shot.
man.
Go give it your best shot. But
Right.
yeah.
No, it is. I mean, it is amazing. And the whole idea of, somebody said to me the other day, well, you knew this industry was brutal.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, you do, but if it's what you want, you just do it.
Right.
And you try.
You make your best effort, and you may succeed, you may not. But it's like anything, modeling or acting or anything.
And speaking of acting, you've actually done a couple movies. So awesome.
Nice transition. It was in 2010, and I did a couple of. It was a You Don't Know Jack with Al Pacino.
She's like, oh, it's just a little movie with
No,
Al Pacino.
I had a very, very, very small part with and it was the Jack Kevorkian story.
Okay.
And then I did a movie with Hilary Swank, also a very small movie called Conviction. Was that what it was called? I can't remember now. But it was great. But there was a lot of standing around. It wasn't nearly as glamorous as it looks. And it was both. We shot both of them in the winter, and it was freezing.
Of course.
And yeah, it was tougher. A lot tougher. But the stars breeze in, they say their lines, and then they get paid
they're out,
millions and millions of dollars. Not particularly nice either.
Right. That's what. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then you're sitting there eating a turkey sandwich.
Yes,
like
exactly.
I go on now. What am I doing?
Yeah.
It's been 15 hours.
Yes.
Feed me.
Yes.
Right. So, okay. So you say don't do it unless I get it.
I can't discourage anyone from doing it, but I think if you are passionate about hardcore journalism, I wholeheartedly say. But the shock and awe and the gotcha journalism, as they call it, I don't believe in that.
So are your kids?
Neither one of them. No.
Okay.
Yeah. Nope. Neither
They're like,
one of them.
That's a hard pass.
My daughter's a fashion design graduate. She just graduated this week.
Nice.
So she's
Congratulations.
Which is also a very tough,
yes,
competitive field. I want her to focus on one thing. Maybe if it's graphic design or interior design or something that's a little less competitive. But,
and then how about your son?
yeah, he's in sales, which he's doing very well. Also very competitive.
Right? So two competitive industries.
Yes,
So
yes.
interesting.
Yes, but not broadcasting.
Not broadcasting. Okay. And you were recently on WDIV
Yes, I was.
about being diagnosed with ADHD.
Adult ADHD, which it was never a problem when I was younger. And suddenly, after I moved here in the 90s, suddenly things just started becoming very cloudy for me, and I was getting confused about things, and things weren't making sense, like balancing a checkbook and paying my rent on time and not remembering things. And it just got worse and worse and worse. And I thought it was anxiety and depression, which it was. But I started masking it with just saying, I'm just getting older, or I have too much to do. And just actually a couple of years ago, I was meeting with the therapist, which I have done for years and years. And she finally just said, after trying millions of different medications, she finally said, I don't know. I'm just going to throw this against the wall. I think you are ADHD. And I said, no way. There's just no way. That's for younger kids, mostly boys. I'm not bouncing around the walls. I'm not hyper. And she said, you know what? I just give it some thought. So I went to have a neuropsych evaluation, and it was this old crusty psychologist, and he said, yeah, you fit the mold.
Really?
You are absolutely checking every box. And then the light bulb went off, and I was like, okay, now that I can accept it, I can look into it. They do have medications for it. I can't take them because they make me crazy. Okay. They make me exactly opposite of what you would hope ADHD medication.
So does it make you more amped up, or?
It makes me more anxious and more neurotic.
Oh, okay.
So it's like exactly not what I want.
This is not opposite day. We're not doing this today.
It's not helping me. So, but now I have coping skills, which I just denied before. So in addition to the, because anxiety and depression are also symptoms of ADHD, but now I can manage it so much better. Now I can be on time, except for today.
There was a crash.
It wasn't my fault. But now I can focus better, even though I can't take the medication, but I can plan
But you have the
things.
tools
to
figure it out.
Which I just didn't even know I qualified, for this, to label it before.
So how did you feel when you finally were you relieved?
Yeah, it was a big relief.
Okay.
Yeah, and so many of my friends have said, or people even I'm just friends on Facebook with, have said, I can't believe it. I have this too. I mean, thank you for saying this is what you were, experiencing, because I get it now. I didn't know what was wrong with me, and now I do. It was just that simple, just to say, oh, maybe it's ADHD, because people don't think as adults
or women even, right?
We just assume it's being busy or scatterbrained or menopausal. Yeah,
that's a whole nother show, right?
There you go.
That is a whole nother show.
Yes.
But, so I thought, it's funny because I've never been diagnosed, but I've oftentimes been called a squirrel because, the whole thing of, oh, look, there's that.
Yeah.
But
look,
I think
pretty object.
It's shiny. I love it.
What did you just say?
Must take it home.
I don't remember what you just said.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's hard.
But I think that part of that actually helped us through our career because, you're constantly going, you're constantly changing. And I think that's why you thrive at it.
Yeah.
Because you're just constantly moving.
You have to be flexible and adjustable is what my uncle used to say to me. And I was like, But it's true. I mean, you have to, you become hyper-focused sometimes.
Right. So if there was an older woman out there, per se, who was suspecting that she was maybe ADHD, would you tell her to go get diagnosed? Or?
Yeah. I mean, and I don't even think you need a neuropsych to break everything down, because I just thought I thought it was bipolar. And the doctor said, I don't think you're bipolar. I just think you're ADHD. And so that was a relief, because I thought,
and that's an important thing to know. Definitely. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Kam.
Thank you. Thank you for letting. It's good to get it out. You know.
See, and and it's so great. I mean, we connected. So what's funny about this industry too is that you know of everyone.
I know,
and everyone assumes that you know them.
Yeah, I know,
but you don't know them, right?
So, we only met, I think, in person when you started doing the show.
Yeah.
I mean, in person, we had communicated through PR.
Exactly.
But actually in person.
Like, hi, Kam.
Yeah. Oh, it's nice to finally meet you after 15 years.
I know, right? So it is kind of crazy. And again, that's the whole illusion of how this industry works. And, oh, they're all going for happy hour. No, not really.
Exactly.
It's like, no.
Right.
Not at all. Not at all. So thank you so much. So you're going to stay up here.
Yes,
okay. And I am going to throw it to a video because the Center for Financial Planning, they are celebrating 40 years and they are actually doing it with this nifty book. And it is pretty cool because I'm actually able to moderate their book tour. So that's been a lot of fun. We had one last week. Another one is coming up in June and then another one in July. I did meet Josh Bitely at his office. He is all about retirement. Are you prepared? What do you need? He wrote chapter 4. Let's watch. Okay, so we are coming off a fantastic event. That was last week at Harmonic, All Heart Garage in Brighton. And Josh, it was so much fun.
Yeah, it was great.
Of course, we are at the Center for Financial Planning and talking about this book, Finding Your Center, Achieving Confidence Through Financial Planning. And you, Josh Bytel, are responsible for chapter 4.
That's correct,
Okay, and you are kind of all about retirement, aren't you?
That's correct, yeah. Sort of like the alphabet soup of retirements, the 401ks, 403bs, IRAs,
all those
HSAs,
numbers.
Yeah, all that stuff that nobody really understands.
You hear about it, right?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, 401, and then you have kids, you know, all of it, and it kind of gets all intermingled, right? Okay, so you are passionate about guiding clients toward retirement and kind of making sure that they have everything that they need. And I love this. Welcome to the accumulation phase.
That's right.
Okay,
yeah.
so define that for me.
Yeah, so it's interesting. You know, I try to think of it as like folks who maybe some of them have just they're starting to get some income for the first time in their life, right? Started to make some real money, which can be different for everybody. But now it's like I got to start thinking about accumulating for the future and not just, you know, spending everything that comes in.
So let me ask you something. Yeah. So when somebody gets their first job, like say you're, 16 or 17, do you want them to start already thinking that young about retirement? Or are we talking like when you get that first big job?
Yeah, well, the earlier the better, honestly. Right. I can't say that I was thinking about that at 16, but if I could go back in time, I wish that I would have. So yeah, the earlier the better. And you know, part of my chapter does talk about how you know, the power of starting early.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, okay, so the accumulation phase, and when you start, you don't want to stop, right?
That's right. Yeah, so really trying to instill not only values, but automation is a big one for me. So, you know, making, you know, when money comes out of your paycheck, really just automating it to the right places and set it and forget it. And ideally, you don't stop, but obviously life, you know, has a way of you know, directing, you know, what happens to you. So
for sure,
if something, you know, were to happen and you have to stop, certainly that's okay. But, you know, the idea is to set it and forget it. And then, you know, one day when you need it, you're impressed with how much it's
pleasantly surprised,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so what are employer-sponsored retirement accounts?
Yeah, so think of it as like, you know, everybody uses the term 401k, and that's usually for for-profit organizations, but when, you know, with non-profit organizations or maybe hospitals and schools, they use what's called a 403b, which are really one and the same. And what that means is your employer is offering you a retirement plan and says, you know, we can take you can redirect some money from your paycheck toward this account to grow for your future, and ideally you don't touch it until retirement. There's some tax advantages in the meantime. And, you know, one of the best things about it is a lot of these plans, the employer will offer a match. So some of the money that you put in, they will match that money out of their own pocket, you know,
that's
to really
like
help.
Free money,
It is free money, yeah, and a lot of people really aren't aware of that match. And that's exactly what I like to say. You're leaving free money on the table if you're not taking advantage of it.
So how high, is there a maximum that employees match, or does it, I mean, it just depends on what employers do?
It's different for every plan. So, you know, I've heard some places like, I've heard some schools and universities and hospitals will even match up to 10%, which is quite high. More often it's somewhere between 2 and 5%, but, you know, anything's great. It's free money, right?
Yeah. Okay, so how are you when you get a client for the first time? Are they a little nervous, or are they overconfident, or what do you see?
Yeah, you know, it's really a mixed bag, but I would say most people, I've been pleasantly surprised when they you know, connect with us. They're pretty open about their finances, even though it can be a really private matter for most people. But when they hire someone like us, I think they're ready to talk about it. And I would say more often than not, people have a little bit of anxiety about where they stand in relation to their peers. So they're open about what they're doing, but they're kind of anxious to really you know, let us know where they're at. But in reality, like I said, there's never a bad time to start. And no matter where you're at, you can always get one step further the next day if you do the right thing. So that's what we're here for.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Thank you so much. And, you know, I've asked everyone before you to do this, so now I'm going to ask you, will you sign my book?
I will sign your book. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you so much. And, okay, if anyone wanted to find more information, reach out to you, where do they do that?
Centerfinplan.com. We have a great website. Our marketing folks have spent a lot of time on it, and that'll tell you everything that you need to know about us.
Okay, perfect. Thanks so much, Josh. Pleasure to see you again.
Pleasure to see you, too.
Thanks.
Where did people sign this? I want to make
your
sure.
chapter,
Just
man.
on my chapter? All right, I'll do that.
It's like meeting a celebrity. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much. That was very, very kind and very easy to talk to you. So.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, we'll get to that in just a minute.
It's Monday.
It is Monday. Welcome to Monday. Well, if you are wondering if you're on track for retirement, you can join Josh. That is happening in Brighton on Wednesday at the Harmonic All Heart Garage, May 21st, 6 to 7 p.m. And you can find more information at centerfinplan.com. Okay, so here are a couple of questions for you. Are you creative? Do you love a good challenge? And do you hate to see things go to waste? And do you like money? Well, if you answer yes
all of these questions. You are in luck. Diane K. Charles is here, and had no idea when the show was planned that we all had so much in common. It is kind of crazy. We'll get to that in just a minute. But Diane, you are with the Furniture Bank of Metro Detroit, and you guys are doing a furniture flip.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's a big signature fundraiser, but the idea really came from an organic space. Every day I drive into the furniture bank and I see big, beautiful furniture that has been donated, like old entertainment units and hutches that aren't fashionable anymore.
Right.
And our clients live in small dwellings. So where is that furniture going? To the landfill. And it would break my heart. And I thought, how can I repurpose this furniture and make sure that it has more life and maybe help another family, right? Yeah. And so a friend of mine, Carolyn, we were working out. We came up with this idea called the Furniture Flip Challenge.
Oh, so it originated with you guys.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so the whole notion is that we would get all this furniture that's been donated. Some of it's dinged and damaged and whatnot, and we are trying,
character, right?
Right. But we're trying to provide stability and dignity to those in need. And so we're not going to give somebody a broken piece of furniture. Right. So it would go to the landfill. And so we thought, well, let's have this, kind of upcycle challenge and came up with the idea.
Okay, so for anyone who's not familiar with what the Furniture Bank of Metro Detroit does, what do they do?
So it's been around for 6 decades, and I say that it's the best kept secret in Metro Detroit. And what we do is we take donated furniture, including used mattresses, and then we pair them up with families that have been vetted through 75 different social service agencies. And we provide a sofa, coffee tables, end tables, dining tables, mattresses, dressers, artwork, you name it, for a very nominal fee. Usually the agency will pay, and it's usually under a $200 fee.
For all of that?
For all of that.
Wow. That's awesome.
And it's life transforming for these families.
That's what I think some people don't get sometimes is that, if you've just survived a domestic violence situation or you're coming from homelessness into a home, and not that you want brand new sparkly stuff, but you want nice stuff.
Well, how do you heal?
Exactly.
Right? You need that sense of home.
Yep.
And you need your own bed. And, here's another big thing that I don't think people in Metro Detroit realize. There is a bed poverty issue.
Yep.
So 20,000 children right now from 0 to 18 are either sleeping with another family member, sleeping on a sofa, or sleeping on the floor. And for like $200, we can provide a brand new mattress and foundation of pillow and bedding.
Even if they had more than one child?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. All right. That is amazing. So this furniture flip challenge is, and there's money involved.
Yes. So, first of all, we have the beloved HGTV star Hilary Farr.
Right.
And she's going to come, and we're going to have her be like our celebrity judge. But the whole idea is that you would come to the furniture bank, and we have about 150 pieces set aside.
Okay.
Anything from tables to hutches to chairs, whatever. And people can pick out their own piece, do whatever they want to it, and then bring it back to us in the end of the summer. We'll have this event at the Village Club of Bloomfield Hills. And so we have different categories. For example,
tell me.
We have most transformed. So some of the ideas that I've seen, and there are so many great ideas on the internet, but like one was a top of a hutch, someone turned into a dollhouse, or cool. A big entertainment unit, they turned into a 2-story bird cage, or maybe a kid's kitchen, or an end table that turned into a little seat.
Or a dog. I saw a dog in one.
Right.
So it's like a little
seen
dog bed.
Like a top of a dresser, and they turned it into a cooler for like your deck for the summer.
Awesome.
Really cute. Or dressers that turn into flower beds or something like that. I mean, it's the ideas are
completely
endless.
repurposing.
Yeah.
That is so cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so there are cash prizes available for these.
So for $1,000, I think there's most transformed, most artistic, most colorful.
Most functional.
Most functional, and then people's choice award. So people who are attending can pick their favorite one, and then Hillary will have the best in show of $5,000. Yeah.
Okay, so people can come there and pick out one of these pieces. It's $30, right?
$30. The reason is we want you to have a little skin in the game.
For sure.
Meaning, like, if you come and take the piece of furniture and you don't bring it back, well, then that didn't help anybody, right?
Right. So then you lost the piece of furniture, and they're like, what am I? And then they donate it anyway.
Right.
Okay, so this goes through July?
Until the end of August, and then our event will be held September 4th. And if you're interested, you can go to www.furniture-bank.org to buy tickets.
Okay.
Yes.
That is amazing. And the pictures of all of this transformations, they're incredible. I mean, it's like, I wouldn't even have thought of that, of half the stuff that they've done with
I know.
these.
I'm amazed.
Birdcage, really? But you had me at Hutch. All of a sudden you say Hutch, I'm like, oh, the memories of Grandma. Right? It's
I did
crazy.
want to add a category of like Grandma's best makeover, right?
Didn't get it?
No, I didn't
Come on,
get that one.
Carolyn. Come on, man. We know you had a flat tire, but come on. That is really cool. Okay, so and then the big event is in September.
September 4th.
Okay, so do you have to have participated in this to go to the event?
No, not at all.
Okay.
And who doesn't want to see Hillary Farr? She's going to be talking about her design tips, plus her days on HGTV, which I'm sure she has lots of stories about.
Right.
So yeah, it should be a really fun event. Plus, all those pieces of furniture will be on display.
Okay.
And people can bid on those and buy them.
Okay.
So and then the Furniture Bank will keep that money, and that's how we'll make our money.
And there it is.
Yeah,
the
there it
biggest
is.
fundraiser,
Yeah.
right? How long have you guys been doing this?
This is our first annual.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah. See what happens when you work out with friends.
I know, right? Who knew? Amazing. That is so cool. Well, thank you so much. Okay, so I had mentioned that we all have something in common that we didn't even know when this started. So you have boy-girl twins.
I do. They're 30 years old. One is married with 2 children, and one is about to get married. And they're best friends, and they both live in the Carolinas, which you would think that they'd end up there, but they are there.
Oh, that is so awesome.
Yeah.
And of course, you were in journalism too.
Yes, I worked at Channel 7 for 20 years, and I worked at Channel 4. And then I was in media for, I was corporate communications for Art Van Furniture, so I worked with all the media.
All the media.
Yeah. And
all
so,
those
of course,
Christmas parties.
I knew all the people at Fox, too. So what a small world.
Isn't it funny? So before we came on, she said, oh, well, you know what? We just all know the path now, right? We're all just going to keep rotating.
Yeah, so Kam's going into nonprofit next.
Yeah. I'll go into PR, and then I guess you'll sit here.
I'll die.
Okay, so let me ask you, how has it been for you? I mean, this whole span of your career.
I actually think there's been a golden thread because I always said that as a journalist, you're giving voice to the voiceless. And then when I was at Art Van, I was telling Mr. Van's story, the company's story for, 12, 13 years.
Right.
And now I feel like I'm giving hope to the hopeless. So that's my golden thread.
That's awesome. Do you ever miss it?
No, because I'm always dealing with the media.
Right.
Always. So.
So it's funny. When I originally left Jay and I thought, I know so many PR people, I'm sure they would hire me. But the whole idea of, do you want it? I mean, I was kind of worried that I would be kind of weird about it. Like a little, not jealous per se, but like, I want to be on the other side. I didn't know if I would be able to handle that.
I think you could because you're just telling someone's story.
Right.
Right.
And writing the press release.
Right.
Yeah.
Or AI is.
Yeah.
Oh, let's not even, right? Yeah. Okay, real quick. What do you think of AI?
You know what? It's helpful as a thought starter, and then you do your own thing. But I do think for a lot of people, it's very helpful.
How about you, Kam?
I
What do you
agree
think? Yeah.
completely.
Okay.
But what scares me is that journalists can't rely on it because you do have to have storytelling.
And there are mistakes.
Absolutely.
Right? So you think, oh, well, that's fine. I can just go with it, and it's all true. And then you're like, that is not true.
And when you get a pitch, when you receive it, you can always tell when it's canned and when it's prefabricated. You can tell the wording they use. You can tell.
Right.
And the pictures.
Especially on a cover letter, too.
Cover letter. Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
I hope this finds you well.
Yes.
That's a dead giveaway.
So I hope, no, right. Oh my gosh. Okay. So thank you so much for being here. It's a pleasure to meet you.
Yes, thank you.
And again, okay, so give me the website one more time.
www.furniture-bank.org.
And can people walk in there and just pick the piece?
Yes.
Okay.
Absolutely. We've had about 10 people come in and pick out their pieces, men and women, so it's fun.
What about any kids? Have you had any kids come in?
You know what? You have to be 18 to participate.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
My twins will be relieved. They'll be like, if you make us do one more thing. I'm like, come on, you got to get
It's
out there.
college money, Mom.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, thank you so much. Okay,
Thank
now we are going to, I have no transition here, so we are just going to bring up Dr. Mary Welsh, and you guys are going to scoot down. Okay. All right, you want to take this with you? And she is an author, a speaker, and the founder of Susie Q's Kids. And her daughter, of course, was Susie, and you'll explain that in just a minute. Dr. Mary, thank you so much for being with us. And so, Susie, tell me the story of Susie Q.
Yeah. So my daughter Susie, she passed away. It'll be 8 years on June 1st. Hard to believe. But she was 31 when she passed away, and she had been sick most of her adult life. So she would spend months at a time in a hospital room. And I've always been one of those people that the cup is always half full, right? Mm-hmm. And so how do you make something positive out of something that you just can't imagine?
Yeah.
And so we created Susie Q's Kids. My husband and I co-founded it, and we give bags to children in need. And we do it intentionally by giving them to other nonprofits.
I love that.
Right? They got the food, they got the clothes, they got the professionals that can help them. So it's real important to further their mission. And so they vet them, they know who needs the help, and we help all different kinds of kids, right?
Yeah, so you have different levels of, I mean, you have sensory bags, you have hygiene bags, right? And what else do you?
So depending where they go, so if it's like a shelter, foster care, they get a hygiene kit. Okay. That goes along with, this is an activity bag that has all the goodies in it, coloring books, crayons, Uno cards, Play-Doh, Silly Putty. If it goes to autistic kids or kids with challenges.
I'm guessing there's a fidget in there.
Yeah, there's a fidget in there. The spinners, the poppers, the pulls, right, all the sensory items. If it goes to a hospice agency or a grief center, then they get a grief kit in there, and so it's to help them on that journey. So whatever their journey is, that's what we try to do.
So I will tell you, I'm trying not to cry, but so years ago, my previous husband was killed by a drunk driver.
Oh,
and our daughter was 11, and the sheriff had a bear. And when they gave that to her, you know, I can't tell you that the comfort that she got, and that even that I got, you know, from these sheriffs coming over to her and handing her this. So when you mention grief, I get it. And
so they are in Oakland County and Macomb County Sheriff's cars.
Okay.
They are in ambulances.
Yeah.
Wherever we try wherever that is. And we've heard stories like yours. We never see the kids get the bags.
Right.
That's okay. Right? But we hear stories afterwards, or other people's stories of what it's meant to them. And so that's what our hope is.
So you started this a year after Susie was gone, right? Okay. So how, I mean, and I can't imagine that loss for you, but you, like you said, you believe that the cup is half full. So for you, looking back through these years, how have you dealt with it?
So her birthday was 2 months after she passed away, and she always smiled. She always had her thumbs up. She always had a great outlook, right? And so she had a young friend that was a foster kid, and I can still hear her voice in my head telling me, "Oh, Mom, we're so rich." Single family mom, right? You know, taking food from the pantry. But their house was full of love. And so when we had her birthday, I said, it's a celebration. Go out, take your kids, your grandkids, yourself, and just buy something for another child. And let's make that good. And 2 things happened from that, which put us on this trajectory. One little girl came up with she had a Barbie doll, and she says, "Isn't she beautiful?" And I said, "She's gorgeous." She says, "My mom said that there's another little girl that's not as lucky as me, and I could go to the store and buy any doll in the store." And that was the prettiest doll. She said, "If I like her, the little girl gets her is going to love it."
That's awesome.
I thought that was the purest form of philanthropy I'd ever heard.
Yep, for sure.
Right?
Yep.
And then we took them to an agency, Big Family in Michigan, over in St. Clair Shores. And they help foster families with whatever they could need, right? And the gentleman said he was going to, John Iris, he was going to use them to open up dialogue with other agencies across the state.
Oh.
So it wouldn't help one child,
Mm-hmm.
it would help many families.
And so that's what you've been
That's
doing.
that's the foundation of our program, you know. And we've helped over 17,000 kids, I say, on this side of my program.
Mm-hmm.
But on this side, we're building the servant leadership of our youth.
Yeah.
So we go in and talk to kids about what's philanthropy as our intake. And then we throw in, we're the Community Partner of the Year for the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention. So we throw in stories and mental health tips. And we know we've impacted many, many, and we're building that servant leadership for the future. So we get them involved from Girl Scouts on up, whatever.
You know, that is awesome. And you've got so many other organizations that help you, because is this all donated, or it is, right? Or
Most of it's
most of it.
donated.
Okay.
Some of it we have to purchase,
Right.
you know, to fulfill. But yeah, so they can come to us and help make us the bags, or we'll go to different locations. And so we engage corporations with employee engagement so that they can give back, and whatever kind of kid you want to help, we give to them. So
That's awesome.
that makes it easy.
Okay, so you mentioned this before we started, but you said we were all taking a picture together, and you said, okay, everyone put their thumbs up. I want you to tell me about that.
Yeah. So thumbs up. Whenever you take a picture, ladies, put your thumbs up.
Come
for me.
on.
We're going to put our thumbs up. Our thumbs up can represent somebody special.
Mm-hmm.
And for kids, it could be mom and dad in a different house, Nan and Papa in a different state, their pet. It could be their silly, goofy friends on either side of them. For those of us that may have lost somebody, mine represent my mom and my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
My grandson lost his uncle to suicide at 2, his aunt to sepsis at 3. So his entire life, every picture, first day of school, whatever it is.
Really? Love that.
It's a story starter.
Mm-hmm.
So when he does this and we're at the zoo, I go, oh, Uncle Keith loved the crocodiles, and Aunt Susie loved the monkeys. What do you love? And what we did was we create open dialogue about some people that are very special to him, that haven't been in his life, but are, because they're always with us.
Right.
So it gives us an idea, a way to talk about them and engage them in what we're doing every day.
And you are also an author.
Yes, I am.
And you do speak on grief.
I do.
Okay, so the books that you've written, what are those?
I had a lot of therapy. My therapist said that I needed to write a book. I said, I'm crazy. You're certifiable. I'm not writing a book. Just not doing that.
So she writes 4.
So I was different. I would take people with me to therapy.
Really?
And so my mom was with me on that session to normalize therapy. So
Wow.
they all went for therapy, right? But she was with me on that session, and she said, oh, yes, you are. And so Mom said I wrote a book. I was writing a book, so I wrote 4. I did them all right before she passed away. But the first one is an adult book about how I grieve, and it was short stories, poems, different little tidbits, maybe a quarter of a page, half a page long, with a thought pattern. So what? Because you pick it up and you're in grief, you don't think. You can't.
Right.
You're not thinking, right? But really, it's all about the power of positivity and how you can do that throughout your entire life. So it's ingrained in my books. 1, how do you remember that person, place, or thing that you're grieving? If you put them on a pedestal and they're up here, they're not going to, you can't keep up with that. So you knock them down a level, put them next to you, then it's manageable. 2, kind of reflect on their importance, and so remember the good, bad, or indifferent with them. 3 is to recreate, and they say that new normal, but I say we're all authors. We all get to start our day every day every book is not the same. So how do you do that, right? And then at the end, it's really how to relate. Take care of yourself, take care of somebody else, take care of your community, right? So that's ingrained throughout my books. So I did a journal that asked 2 questions. What you do every day at 8 o'clock? What did you do for yourself? And what did you do for somebody else, right? If you can answer that, you'll balance.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not going to answer that, though.
No. 8 o'clock at
might be
night.
watching
It's
Law and
only
Order.
to yourself. But all the questions my grandchildren ask me is in the children's grief book, which goes into all of my grief bags. And it's really, Angel Susie narrates it, 5 different age brackets, 5 different stories. It's just a concept starter, but it can start that dialogue.
Well, and I think when you're dealing with grief, it's kind of, you're kind of on your own track, right? And you don't know how nobody does it the same way. But if you have a friend going through grief or a family member and you don't say anything, because so often we hear that, well, I don't know what to say, so I say nothing. And it's like, no, just say something. That is what I've taken away from the whole journey that I've gone through is just say something. It doesn't matter what it is, really, as long as you acknowledge it, because it kind of opens the door.
I'm going to make you cry.
No.
But guess what? I cry all the time anyway, right? That's a policy, right?
Right.
So say their name, say it loud, say it proud.
Yep.
Start a dialogue, a memory, whatever. And that's the way we all feel grief healing.
Okay. Thank you so much. So how can people help you?
We're always looking for people to, donate for us or to come and help us. We're looking for ways to get into different schools and cheerleading squads and teams and things like that. Really about working with the kids, employee team engagement. So SusieQ'sKids.org.
Okay.
And just reach out to me and we'll talk.
So corporations, anyone can call you and say, oh, we want to have an event, like a stuffing in the bag event, and they can do that.
Yep, they can come and volunteer and sort and help us put things in order. And, we always find different ways.
Awesome. Thank you. And your books are available where?
They're on Amazon. Okay. So you can look me up on Dr. Mary Welsh and you'll find them all.
Okay. And, real quick, I know that you had worked with Sandcastles, which is a grief program through Henry Ford. And I think that, that is an amazing avenue for kids who are just experiencing something like that. And you actually have spoken for them.
Yep.
And you do speak.
I do speak. So next week I'm speaking, well, no, actually this week, speaking with the NAMI Association. So I'm one of their speakers at their event.
Okay.
This week.
Well, listen, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your story. And, it's just seeing that panda. I'm like, okay, I can't look at the panda. But no, seriously, thank you. Because I know firsthand that kids are touched no matter what bag it is. Who doesn't love giving a gift, right? Who doesn't love getting one and giving one? Right? Yeah. So that's exactly what you do. So thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
So 2 thumbs
up?
up?
2 thumbs up, man. We're doing it, everyone.
Perfect.
2 thumbs up.
Thank you all.
All right. Thank you. Okay. So our next guest, you may have seen previous episodes. Exciting news today, actually. My new website, I've been talking about this for a while. It is finally up. It is helloimbrooke.com. And you can leave a subject that you want to talk about. You can leave guest maybe that you think would be interesting, but just go ahead, go to the website. It is gorgeous. I'm so proud of it. And it is finally up. So I give a thumbs up to that too, because it has been a hot minute, man. Okay. So my next guest is Christina. She's going to come up here and she's armed with salad dressing. You'll understand that in a minute. But we have a short but hilarious history, of course. You are the founder of Papa's Kitchen Salad Dressings, women-owned, and family recipe. You are now in, I thought it was only 100 markets.
We are in over 400 markets across.
That is so amazing.
Thank you.
That is so awesome. And, this is for your dad.
Yes.
Right? So it kind of all started with him.
Yes. So my dad came here at the age of 12, opened up his restaurant at 17. And so over 45 years of restaurateur, he actually created a dressing called Pink Greek, which is famous in the Metro Detroit area. So fast forward to 2019, I was hospitalized at the Cleveland Clinic, and I'm number 64 worldwide to go through a very innovative surgery. But when I woke up from surgery, there was a piece of paper that was on my table, and I started doodling. And I drew a salad dressing bottle, and I looked at my family and I said, we're going to have a salad dressing company. They thought I was crazy. And the more they said no, the more I said yes. That's the Capricorn rebellion in me.
Are you a twin too? No.
Well, here's a funny story. My children, boy, girl, are only 15 months old.
Irish twins.
So I have the Irish twins.
Crazy. That is craziness.
Yeah, so launched in 21, and now we are in 400 plus retail locations.
That is amazing. And of course, you've brought some with you. Okay, so now the hilarious part of our story is that when you were on in October of last year, that was when we were at the Imagine Palladium, and it was pink dressing. We were talking because it was Breast Cancer Awareness Month, right? So that was kind of the theme, the hook, as we say. And so you have it in there? Oh, there it is. Oh, my gosh. All right. So we had an incident that happened in the studio, and we're going to take a quick look at that, and then we'll come back. So there it is. There it is. So that is that dressing. Not that one flew everywhere, so it's not that bottle. But
claim to fame.
Yeah. Well, so that's the funny thing, right? Because it actually made it on America's Funniest Videos. So that was awesome. The funny thing about this is that when they tell you that they're going to use your submission, they say you're going to get one shirt.
But in one size.
But in one size, yeah. So extra large, one shirt. So after the show, we're going to all take a picture in it. And I mean, it was just, that was hilarious. And Barbie was there. She was wiping the screen. I was like trying not to like go, oh my God, my orange leather jacket, all of it.
It was so beautiful.
It was, yeah.
I love
it was
that
so
jacket.
Beautiful.
It was.
I love that jacket too. Yeah, was the key word.
Meanwhile, I was in the bathroom crying.
Yes, you were crying. She was so upset. But it all worked out, right? It all worked out. So it was kind of cool. We were all texting each other like, oh, and it was a good thing that it was right at the top of the show, and I was on the wrong channel, of course, because who watches live TV anymore, right?
Yeah.
And so we're all texting each other and like, oh, is it? And then it was on, and we're like, oh, that was pretty cool.
It was like the third or fourth video onto America's Funniest Video.
Yeah, we almost missed it.
We almost missed it. Thank God we got you onto the right channel.
I know, right? Thank you. And the shirt, So yeah, so that was, that's just so hilarious to me. Yes. Okay, so where can people find you?
Yeah, so we are in all the Meijer locations, like I said, across 6 states. But your local specialty markets, your Papa Joe's, Vincent Joe's, Hollywood, Bush's, Nino's. I mean, I can just ramble it all off. But if you visit www.papas-kitchen.com, we have a locations tab on there. So you can find it by your zip code.
How convenient.
Yes.
Okay, so you have the pink one, of course, is
5
infamous,
flavors.
but you have a lot of different flavors. None of which we're opening. Dean will kill me.
No, we are not opening up.
So the white pouch, I've been warned.
This is our fresh herb vinaigrette. And what's unique about this is it's sugar-free. So if you're looking for a sugar-free dressing, fresh herb vinaigrette is your go-to.
Okay, and this one?
Harvest vinaigrette. This one is one of my mother's personal favorites.
Okay.
It's a play off of fall. There's pumpkin in it, but this is our cleanest product. It's made with pumpkin, Dijon, olive oil, brown sugar, and thyme.
This is my favorite.
Could you imagine if we spilled this one all over set?
So sad.
So creamy dill is both of our favorites. And this one is only 80 calories, so it's low cal. So I personally dip my potato chips into it.
Oh, that.
Ooh, vegetables.
Yes, vegetables. And then this one.
Green Goddess. So here is a new announcement.
Oh.
This is our newest flavor, Green Goddess. And what makes this one unique is it's not made with avocado and it's not made with any dairy. We use chickpeas.
Really?
So it gives that still nutty pine nut flavor that you would get in a pesto and that Parmesan grain, with it being vegan.
Nice.
Yes.
Very nice. Okay, so any more products on the horizon? Or last time I saw you, you were like, I can't talk about it.
So I personally signed an NDA.
Okay.
And I will be talking about it soon.
Again with us.
I will. But look for it in the early summer, late spring.
Okay.
Yes. So we're right at that cusp. So
okay. I'm used to this from you. So
one more month, I promise.
All right. Okay.
We have to make sure everything's perfect.
No, I get it. I totally get it. I totally get it. So, hey, thanks. It was the first time that the show had been on national TV. So thank you for that, right?
Well, thank you for having me back after that.
Yeah, your mom was shocked, right? Like, what?
She honestly was. I called her this morning and she's like, where are you going? I'm like, I'm going to Brooke Allen's to be back on her show. And she's like, she's inviting you back? I'm like, yes.
Oh my gosh. Seriously, thank you so much. And I, I'm a big coupon fanatic. And so I'm Perks all the way, Meyer. And so I was like doing my coupons and I was like,
yes,
there's one of the dressings.
So all of month of May is National Salad Month. So we have an M-Perk going on for $1 off on the bottles. So look for them in Meyer in the refrigeration section because we don't like to add any extra preservatives into our product. And then just take them home, use them, love them, share them, and
don't spill them.
Don't spill them.
And they're also gluten-free.
And they are.
They are gluten-free. Thank you for adding that in, Kim.
You're welcome.
Okay, so I ask everyone this, so I'm going to start with you, Kam. So if you could meet your younger self for coffee, what would you tell her?
Oh, do you have to start with me?
Yes.
Don't sweat the small stuff. Don't be so stressed.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Ooh, really good. I don't know that answer. Boy, stay focused. Stay more focused.
Just enjoy life. Just enjoy. Yeah.
Younger me. Oh boy, you don't want to know younger me.
She's already younger.
Yeah, sometimes I ask, what would you say to your older self? But her, I just kind of said younger.
But I mean, I hit my 40s, so I mean, there's that young side, right? But I think I would say don't listen to the background noise. Focus on yourself and do what you do and perseverance.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
And take salad dressing with you.
And take salad dressing with you.
Papa's Kitchen salad dressing.
Papa's Kitchen.
Papa's Kitchen salad dressing.
Do you know who the PR person is for her on this couch? Can you guess yet? I don't know. Is it obvious? I'm not sure. All right. Well, listen, ladies, thank you so much. I had no idea. It is the funniest thing. These shows just happen to always come together. There is always some unique thread. Even if I don't know it, I usually find it out during the show. So who knew, right? I mean, it is amazing. So thank you for sharing your insights. And thank you, Dr. Welsh, for sharing Susie with us and everything you do. And Christina, thank you for not opening those bottles. I appreciate that so much. Okay, so next week is Memorial Day. I cannot even believe it. Summer officially here. I will be covering the Mackinac Policy Conference next week. So if you have someone you want me to track down and do an interview with, please reach out to me. Also, check out the new website. It is helloimbrooke.com. We will not be here next week. We are taking a break. Maybe we'll have a barbecue.
Yes.
We'll dip our salad dressing in potato chips. So thank you so much. Thank you all. And we'll see you in a couple weeks. Until then, keep the coffee hot. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right, thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up.